Taylor Seguin and Matt Duchene to take your questions. Once again, we ask you to please raise your hand and wait for the microphone. We'll start left side front row with Leah.
Hey guys, over here. What shifted for you guys coming out of the second intermission, and just in the spot you were in going into the third period feels like a big boost going into that third?
Dutchie?
No, you know what? I think it's a huge goal coming out. We have a power play for a minute. Our power play, we couldn't really get anything going, and these guys' unit did a hell of a job getting that. And Miro it's a great setup. We were able to break in, set up, and you get some life right there. And at that point, you're like, okay, we're back in this, and away you go, and we're able to make it happen.
Right side front row, Taylor.
Hey, Tyler.
Hi, Taylor.
How did it feel on that first goal, especially that breakaway? Did it feel a little vintage Tyler Seguin?
Felt nice to beat a guy up the ice with some speed, yeah. So, it always feels good to score. It feels even better to win. I think I was thinking about that game last year, game 1 in here, where it was almost like a similar game, and maybe we didn't deserve to win, but tonight we maybe didn't either and found a way. Those are big games at this time of year. Just try to find a way to get a win. There's a great hockey team over there in Edmonton, so we'll take it and run.
Left side second row, Ryan.
It's a game where, of course, you get a lot of offensive contributions, but you're able to get a comeback. For both of you, what kind of sort of becomes maybe the bigger takeaway, just getting that much offensive contribution, or knowing like you're able to come back against a team that this postseason, that's kind of how they've made their trademark?
Yeah, I think, like Tyler said, you score a goal and help your team win, it feels great. But, the wins are the best feeling this time of year, and they're short-lived, and the losses are short-lived. So it's a great comeback win for us. I think, every team we've played so far has a very different makeup to them and a different feel, and there's things that we can do better. And, the nice thing is when you win a game in the playoffs without your A game, it feels like, hey, it's, you want to take it and run with it, and we want to be better next game. And I think, that's a dangerous hockey team over there, and you saw it at times. We were probably a little too passive on it at times, but it's hard not to be when you have, gifted players like that coming at you full speed, and they both played, incredible tonight. And I think, like I said, though, at the end of the day, you take that one, you run, and you try and get greedy and take 2 at home.
Left side fourth row, Robert.
Matt, with that goal going in, especially after the first one went off Rope, it looked like how big?
Wanted to give him an apple. Rope said thank you.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll take those apples. Let's go.
The first one that hit him, I'm like, this is kind of par for the course this postseason for me. It's, if there's something that could go wrong, it did, and then it comes back and it goes in, and I couldn't believe I still had room. So, kind of a funny one. But yeah, it feels good. I mean, at the end of the day, though, like I've talked about, my process personally, and just trying to focus on that, and things like that come if you stick with it. And as a team, it's the same thing. And you want to, if you roll out your A game individually and as a team more often than not, you're gonna have results, and you just got to stick with it. And fortunately, that one bounced for me tonight. So hopefully that's more of that to come, and less of the hitting my own teammate in the ass.
Right side front row, Tracy.
This is for either one of you. I'm just curious, when you're going into the third period down 3-1, and was there anything said during the second intermission, just as far as, what you wanted to do, especially with the second being as rough as it was?
Yeah, I think things are said, but there's also there's a calmness to our group. There always has been. I've seen it over the last few years, and I don't know where it kind of really started, but we have a lot of belief in us, and we never really think we're fully out of a game. And I think the message right now for all of us is it's been pretty cool to be here 3 years in a row, but you don't get to be here 4 or 5 years in a row, right? So you gotta find ways, different nights, whether it's tonight being down 3-1 or next game being up 3-1 and finishing 5-1. You can't just try to respond the next game. I think that was the message, was we got to respond right now. We're at home. They're a great team. They're a great team on the road. We know what it's like playing in their building too. So, as much as we want to steal 2 at home, we're expecting to win 2 at home. So, we're excited.
Right side, front row, Mike.
Hey, Matt. I believe this you gave up the first goal as a team for the 11th time in 14 games.
Oh, Mike's stats. Here we go.
I know, it's all terrible.
Those are the stats you have, huh? The negative ones?
But point being, it seems like you guys have never, it hasn't been easy, and that's kind of made you tougher as a team. And like, honestly, what Tyler said.
Yeah, exactly what he said. I mean, we have a calmness to this team. It's something I noticed when I signed here, and I've been in, when you're in, whether, over the course of however many years, 16 years, you're in a lot of different locker rooms, even within the same organizations, and you see different characteristics and different things that kind of come and go. And the one thing that's impressed me about this group from day one is just the even keel, win or lose, play well, play bad, have a great period, have a bad period. It's just right back at it. And I mean, you can probably tell by our body language right now that we're happy we won, but it's not, there's so much work left to do. And that's the focus. And, at the end of the day, we have 7 wins left to reach our goal. And until you get that last one, there's no time to sit in a game, win or lose. So I think you give up a first goal, it's water off a duck's back. You just keep going.
We'll take a couple more. Left side, fourth row, Sean.
To the idea of the 3 teams you've played so far being very different in makeup and style, how much of a game like that is maybe you guys, figuring a team out when you see them for the first time as the game goes on?
Yeah, I mean, I think, unfortunately, we definitely were trying to figure them out, I think, early on in that game. It's probably why the score was how it was, maybe on both sides. But it is a different hockey game. So it's just, trying to adapt and get to our game as fast as we can for what we're going against. And, we didn't necessarily do that tonight, but we got things that we're going to work on and talk about and fix and try to have a better game too.
Right side, fourth row, Tim.
Yeah, Tyler, continuing on that negative trend that Mike started. It has been 14 years since you won a cup. There are some people, you're welcome.
At least he's got one.
Every year around this time, I started seeing Tim around here.
It has been.
Hey, Tim.
Good to see you again.
You too.
I had a question in here somewhere.
Sorry.
It's been 14 years.
Yeah.
Some people wondered if you had a lot of 2-goal games or podium games left, and you had some big games against Colorado, obviously.
Who wondered
and now
that?
this. How satisfying is it to be able to show people and to keep doing this?
Yeah, I mean, we touched on earlier. It's satisfying to win, and whether it comes back to me or the talk of whatever you're talking about there, we all got to chip in. We all got to, it's not going to be him and I on the podium. Maybe next game, maybe it will be, but there's different guys that step up at different times. And that's what makes a team deep and successful. And we hear all the noise of depth and how good Edmonton's depth was the last few rounds and how good they still are. And we got to do our job too and our part, and that's the only way we're going to beat these guys.
2 more, right side in the back.
Matt, you mentioned how important Miro's goal was at the start of the third period. Is he kind of looking like a guy who's getting better and better every game, and how much more dangerous does that make you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think
he's so good.
You could see, you could see him at the start of getting him back feels like getting 2 players back. I mean, that's just, Harley's a similar type situation. Lindell, like these guys that log those minutes. It feels like you get 2 guys back because of what they can do and the minutes they can log. And I thought in Game 6 against Winnipeg, Miro was maybe the best player on the ice, and he was, great again tonight. We depend a lot on him, and we're a very deep team up front and on the back end, and so we could manage without him. But when you get a guy like that back, it shows a lot, and he was. He's trending in the right way for us for sure, and it's definitely been an injection into our into the lineup for sure.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Pete DeBoer. Pete DeBoer to take your questions. We'll start left side, second row.
Pete, what was your message to the team going into that third period?
Trying to remember something along the lines of, I didn't feel we had played our best yet, and it's really tough to get to this point, and if you are going to lose a game at this point in the year, you want to make sure the other team has to earn it. And I didn't feel through 40 minutes that, we had made them earn the position they were in. So, the guys responded. We got fortunate. We got some power play goals. Happy for our power play. I mean, took a lot of heat last year at this point of the year, and was the difference tonight for us. So, it's great.
Left side, second row, Ryan.
Pete, I mean, you look at the offensive contributions you received this evening. What was it like not only getting those, but getting those in a game where you were not only able to get a comeback, but a comeback against a team that basically they've been making a habit of comebacks this postseason?
Yeah. Well, I think I talked, everyone was talking about, our lack of secondary scoring, and the last round, I spoke this morning in my availability that you have to give Winnipeg some credit. They defended their ass off in that series against us, and they're the best defensive team in the league. So none of our guys were going to have big numbers in the Winnipeg series. I really felt confident that they were going to get going, because even in that Winnipeg series, particularly late in that series, Game 6, I started to see some real signs of, creating some real chances. They just didn't finish, or Hellebuck made some saves. So there was signs that we were going to get some production.
Left side, third row.
Pete, you talked about the power play a little bit just now, but you talked about it this morning and said, hey, don't go 0 for 14 on the power play, and then you put 3 straight in a 6-minute span. What did you see different from the power play in the third period as compared to your first power play tonight? And for that unit to finally really get it rolling, how important is that?
The first power play we had was a little bit like the rest of our game. Our execution was a little off. We didn't make great plays with the puck. We didn't have great support. I thought in the third, we came out and we executed. And, I think you never know when that switch is going to go. Obviously, being at home here for this game, we get that first goal, the crowd gets into it, momentum shifts really quickly. And that's the benefit of being at home here for Game 1.
Right side, front row, Tracy.
Pete, just with specifically Matt Duchene, he's been like some of these other guys. He's just been all around it, and you could tell he was going to be frustrated. So how good to see him score that goal at that point and have that impact.
Yeah, we're all happy for him. I mean, you can say whatever you want, but that weighs on a guy like that, particularly a scorer. So great for him to get one, and it was due. Like you said, he's been around it quite a bit. Just hasn't gone in. So hopefully that's the floodgates will open now.
Left side, fourth row, Sean.
You talked about over that game getting your team to get to its game. Can you describe the challenge for coaches and players in doing that when you're switching styles from a Winnipeg team that looks very different to an Edmonton Oilers team?
Yeah, it's definitely a different game than the last series. But we played an absolutely totally different team in the first round in Colorado. So we've seen a little bit of everything here in the playoffs. I think there's always a feeling out period when you get into a new series with the team you're playing, because everyone brings different things to the table. So, and I know we're familiar with each other, but we haven't played each other in a while, and with the rosters that we have now. So, I think you saw a little bit of that tonight. We can be and have to be better than we were tonight, and at least 5-on-5, and that's got to be the goal for us.
Stay in that same row, Robert.
Pete, is it really as simple as you got some momentum from those power plays? Because even after that, it seemed like the third period at even strength was much closer to the game you guys want to play to.
Yeah, you know what? I thought, I didn't think the entire night was poor 5-on-5. I thought we started the game okay. We had some good looks in the first period. You know, they got the first goal. They got the power play goal too. You know, all of a sudden you're in a hole. So, but you know, I think as a group, when we sit and look at it, and we'll look at it tomorrow, you know, I think our group knows that we can play better than we did for large portions of tonight.
Right side, fourth row.
Hey, Pete. I just wanted to ask you about Ottinger because I felt like the score could have been a lot worse than 3-1 after the second period. Did he help keep you guys in the game there?
Yeah, he made some saves for sure. You know, he's done that. He's done that all year. He didn't. He kind of stopped the bleeding. You know, when momentum went against us there. I mean, obviously, if it goes to 4 or 5-1, that game's probably over. So, he definitely helped stop the bleeding and give us a chance going into the third period.
Left side, back row.
Coach, do you have any recollection of being part of a playoff team that scored 3 power play goals in a period in the playoff game?
Oh, yeah. I was we did it in Vegas when I coached there in the last 5 minutes of a game. We scored 4, actually. So it doesn't happen very often, but I have seen it before.
We'll go to Corey, right side, fourth row.
Hi, Pete. How important, was Miro Heiskanen's goal to kind of spark the comeback?
Yeah.
And, is he a guy that's just kind of getting better and better every game, like you said? And
Yeah.
how much more dangerous does that make you?
Yeah, I mean, he's a game changer for us. 24 minutes, 1-1-2 tonight. He changes our team. And we survived the first round and a half without him, but he's our difference maker. For us, he's him and Rantanen are McDavid and Draisaitl. So it's nice to have him back.
Left side, fourth row.
Hi, Pete. Staying on Miro. Obviously, a player like him missing for 4 or 5 months of the season, not a good thing. With how fresh he's looked and how good he's looked since he's been back, could it almost be kind of a blessing in disguise now that he's back, looking 100% at least?
Yeah, potentially, for sure. There's no doubt he's fresh. If he can get back feeling, like he isn't still dealing with some type of injury, I think that would be helpful. I don't think he's 100% there yet, mindset-wise, but there's no doubt he's fresh and hungry and ready to jump in. So, he's a difference maker.
Last one, right side, second row.
Hey, Coach, great game. I know you can't tell by looking at me, but my physique is one of a track and field physique. To see Tyler Seguin break out like he did and show the speed at his age as a seasoned veteran, how did that make you feel?
Yeah, that was great. And you know what? I'm happy for Tyler. I mean, hip surgery, missed the whole year. That's a ton of work in the gym, off the ice with our trainers, to get to a point where he could actually, pull away from somebody in that situation this time of the year. So great to see, and a lot of work behind the scenes put into that burst that he had.
Thanks a lot, Pete. That concludes.
What do you guys talk about in that second intermission there? As you got a power play going in and you're down 3-1.
Yeah, just had to work harder, win more puck battles and try to get the first on the power play there and quickly and keep working after that. But yeah, I think we worked hard on the third one, and that's how we need to keep playing.
I know you guys don't talk about last season that much, but after going 0 for 14, how important is it to get the power play going?
Oh yeah, for sure, it's huge. In the playoffs, when you get it going, it helps a lot, and it's important. So it's great that got some goals there, and hopefully we can keep doing that.
Matt Duchene's really been fighting it through these playoffs, and just how good to see him get one and end up being the game winner there.
Yeah, that's great. It's he's been working hard to get that one, but yeah, it's really happy for him, and it's for sure get some more confidence from that, and probably gonna be a little more goals for it now.
Miro, to have a third period comeback like that, what does that do for just the overall confidence of the team, no matter what the situation of the game is?
Yeah, it's great. It's always great to come back, and it's a good team against us, and can do that against them. It's gives us confidence, and we know how we need to play right now. It's just have to work harder. I think first 2 periods weren't good enough. So that's really good third, and we just need to keep doing that.
In that third period, what is it about this team that makes you guys so confident and comfortable playing from behind in the third period?
We got great 4 lines, great 6 D-men. It's doesn't matter who is on the ice. Everybody can score a goal, or it's just deep team, and when we are working hard like that, it's anything is possible.
Miro, before the game today, earlier this morning, Pete said that he picked one thing from last year's series between these two teams that he wants to change. Hey, don't go 0 for 14 in the power play. And then you guys rip off 3 straight there in the third period. What was different in the third period? Because the first power play did look a little shaky. What changed in the third period? And to be able to pop 3 in a row, what does that say about that unit?
I think we were moving the puck quicker, and there was guys in front of the net and little traffic there, and just try to get shots through. It's pretty simple, but it's usually working pretty well.
Is there a degree of kind of figuring them out as you go along that result in that third period?
Yeah, for sure. It's like I said a couple of times already, but we work hard and outwork them in the third, I feel like, and just it's simple game. Usually in playoffs it's working, and it's I think that's why we got the win.
Getting pucks through, your body language would suggest that you saw that top corner open. Is that did you see that the screen set up in that opening?
Oh yeah, it was a great screen by Monster, and just try to get it through, and luckily went in. But yeah, great net from by Monster.
The resilience of this team has been talked about a lot all season long. Was tonight a great example of the never quit attitude? What does this group value when it comes to that?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's it doesn't matter if we're down 2 goals, however many goals, but we never quit, and there's always a chance to come back, and we feel like if we play like that, pressure the demon and play in their zone more, it's always a chance to win. So it's great third, but we keep doing that, and it's gonna be good.